My wife was sleeping with her male best friend behind my back, and my mother-in-law helped her hide it from me. Now they're both miserable and on the streets. I've been married to my wife for 4 years, and we've had a good relationship overall. The only problem has been her male best friend, Jamal. He's been in her life since before I met her, and their closeness often makes me insecure. But still I trusted my wife, and never thought that she would betray me so openly. Jamal would come to our house for dinner nearly every day even after we got married. Sometimes he showed up in his boxers without a shirt on, which was super weird. When I would bring this up with my wife, she would say that this is just how Jamal is, and that he's basically a brother. That would make me back off, but then I would notice her texting him all day long. Even if we went on a vacation, she wouldn't stop talking to him. To make matters even worse, my mother-in-law is practically in love with Jamal. She treats him like her own son, and always makes comments about how Jamal is a bigger part of the family than me. She told me that I'm just jealous of how close my wife is with Jamal, and that the problem lies with me. It got so bad that I had to go to therapy for myself to deal with my mental health. And just as I was getting better, I noticed something alarming. My wife had started coming home late in the night, and was also acting distant. She would stay at work past her hours, be dismissive if I asked about her day, and would brush me off if I asked her on a date. Something just felt off, and I couldn't ignore it like I did before. So one night I had to bite the bullet and check her phone. Turns out, Jamal and my wife had been having an affair for over a year. I was crushed. Even when I took my wife on a vacation to Bali, she was texting Jamal about how much she missed him. I confronted her with the evidence, and she admitted everything. She said she loved me, and that Jamal was just a mistake, begging me to not leave her. I had to take some time off work to process everything. This is when my wife's family held a Thanksgiving dinner. She persuaded me to go in order to keep up appearances. I went, but I immediately regretted it because Jamal was there. He was acting all friendly with everyone, including me, and shamelessly complimented my wife. I was fuming and wanted to punch his face, but I held it in. Little did I know, it was about to be the best night of my life. During the actual dinner, my mother-in-law said to me, "Have you started dealing with your insecurities?" Jamal asked her what she meant, and she went on a tangent explaining how important he was to the family, but I couldn't get over it because I was jealous. She said this in front of the entire family, and officially made me reach my breaking point. I chuckled and said, maybe I wouldn't be insecure if my wife wasn't sleeping with Jamal every night. The entire house went silent. Jamal's face looked like a painting where the guy was being hung from the neck. My wife tried to calm me down and asked me to frame it as a joke, but I wasn't having it. I revealed everything. The lies she told me, the betrayal I felt as well as the evidence I had collected. What I didn't expect was my father-in-law being furious with his daughter. He laid into her and said she had completely destroyed this marriage by disrespecting me like this. On the other hand, my mother-in-law had the audacity to say I was overreacting, and I shouldn't expose an affair in front of the family. Before she could defend Jamal, my father-in-law surprised all of us by dragging her outside the house. He said he'll pack her things and send them to wherever she went, but she can't stay in the house anymore. I silently thanked him in my head and left. I got home before my wife and locked all the doors and windows. She called me begging, asking me to let her in because her father wasn't letting her stay. I told her to ask Jamal and stop bothering me, and went to sleep. Update 1. I woke up to my mother-in-law slandering me on social media, telling everyone I was causing needless drama. I took some advice and called my father-in-law, who explained that mother-in-law had cheated once before, and he had given her an ultimatum. So when he saw how she supported my wife's infidelity, he couldn't hold back any longer. Maybe her own cheating is why she supports my wife's actions, and thinks that I should get over a small affair. By this point I had calmed down and approached a lawyer, who commended me for collecting some kind of evidence. But my wife destroyed my life once again by texting me she was pregnant. She sent me multiple screenshots of positive pregnancy tests, and said she was planning on telling me after I forgave her. The timing was really bad, because although she was having an affair, we still had intimacy around the time she got pregnant. I didn't know what to do, and my lawyer suggested getting a DNA test done. He also said I shouldn't block my wife's access to the house since she has lived there for years, and kicking her out might work against me in the divorce. Thankfully, I got lucky and the DNA test came back negative. My wife's face dropped when she realized that Jamal, who lived with his friends in a small apartment, was the actual father. I gave her a month to gather her things and leave my house. She tried begging again, this time bringing up how much I loved her in the past. I told her that love had turned into hate, and she had made me lose all generosity when she lied to me for over a year. Update 2. The divorce is underway, and I couldn't be happier. Turns out that my wife and my mother-in-law had to get a rundown apartment together. No one in the family is willing to support them after what they did to me, which is perfect for the divorce. Jamal has cut off contact with everyone after realizing that he made her pregnant, which is just the cherry on top. Things are looking really good for me in the divorce, and I might get away with most of my assets intact.